I've been fortunate enough to have spent the last 2 weeks in Japan on holiday. I spent most of that time just, buying weeb crap and sightseeing like a good tourist, but I did take a trip up to Tokyo on the 20th of August to go to Umebura S.A.T, which is the most stacked Japanese tournament of all time. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to talk about my experiences there. The first thing that was really obvious was that the standard of play in Japan is completely ridiculous. Over the course of the weekend, I played like 30 different Japanese players, and I'd say like only 3 or 4 of those players were strictly worse than me. Everybody else was either at my level or higher. And about, I'd say, 5 or 6 of the players I played were just so much better than me that I was lucky to take games in our sessions, it was completely ridiculous. I should point out, by the way, that like, these players that were bodying me, they weren't even their top players, they were just, no names, well I say no names, people I've never heard of, you've never heard of, just random Japanese guys that were completely godlike. That's how high the standard of play is. The best part about this was that there were so many different characters on display. In Ireland, our scene is pretty small, and there's even fewer players at a level where I can receive valuable matchup experience against them. I also don't play online for reasons, and my matchup knowledge is all from traveling from to the UK and from watching VODs. At Umebura though, I played against all kinds of new characters for me: Charizard, Duck Hunt, Samus, Greninja, Little Mac, Zero Suit, Cloud, Mario, Link. You get the idea. Every single player of these characters I played against was at my level or higher, making every game an intense learning experience. I've learned a lot about the Link matchup, for example, when there's very little I could watch about, top level Fox versus Link. All of this gameplay led me to 3 conclusions. Number 1, matchup charts at my level are nearly totally irrelevant. I'd quickly dismiss the Duck Hunt matchup as being, really good due to my good experiences with it and it looking really good on paper. I played Yusen though, and I realized just how little about the matchup I knew, especially in neutral. In fact, every character I listed did something against me I wasn't prepared for due to my lack of experience against players of my level. Player skill is far more important than matchups, and even then, matchups change dramatically as players improve. Like how at low level, Fox does really well against Sheik because up tilt's broken, and then the better you get, Sheik just bodies Fox off stage and all the rest of it. So number 2, playing matchups is really important. I know this sounds really obvious, but I would always assumed you could get good at the game by just hitting the lab and then watching VODs and doing nothing else. That's not really the case. I lost count of how many games I played where like my concentration lapsed for just a few seconds and boom, that's it. My stock is gone. It was really mentally exhausting, and that's not something training can really prepare me for. So I now realize the importance of that. Number 3 is that Fox's setups actually work. Like pretty much every setup I've ever talked about on my channel actually served me well this weekend, and I was really delighted about it. I got pivot forward tilt tech chases, lots of fair spike setups, and a really nasty dare locks to 0 to death kind of thing. Completely unrelated topic, the Japanese are so nice. Like, I was never refused a setup I asked to sit down at. Everybody was like applauding no matter how, like I'd do a combo, everyone would go, whoa, nice, or I'd do the same for them and all the rest of it. Everyone smiled at the victory screen regardless of the result. Like if you watch the balls against Kamimushi, after Kamimushi loses an excruciatingly close game 5 set, he's smiling. I'm like, what? That would never happen. never happen over here. Not that people are salty about it, but they're never, happy for their opponent. Nothing to comment on really after that, just that it was a thing that existed. Last thing I want to say about friendlies in this context is that the Japanese plays friendlies like really seriously. I mean, there is a bit of funniness sometimes, but they generally don't mess around. Like, everyone plays their mains, they play to win, and they play to improve. They weren't afraid to like try new things in friendlies. I was hugely appreciative of this, and it meant that I got everyone's best or near best gameplay even when it wasn't bracket. So let's talk about the tournament itself. I finished 4-3 in round 1 pools and got eliminated due to a 3-way tiebreaker. You see, in Japan they keep track of your stocks as well as the amount of wins you have. And you may be thinking, wait, but if it's top 4 get out and you finish 4-3, how did you not get out, Skarfelt? And see, the reason for this is that despite finishing 4-3, I had less stocks remaining than my opponents did. And the reason they track stocks and not games is because they play best of 1 2 stock in Japan. Oh! I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of that format. It is so stressful to play. Oh my god, like, I played a game against this Diddy Kong, and basically I was winning pretty hard. He was at 110, I'm at 30. He stage spikes me at 30, and suddenly the game becomes really close, because I can't kill him. And I'm like, my damage is getting higher and higher, I'm like, fuck. But then it's okay, I won in the end. But there was another game, where I was playing against a Sonic player, and it was my first game in the pool. So I was getting bodied at the very start, and then I adapted and brought it back, and it was last hit, he happened to get the back air and win. And I thought, if that was a best of 3, I probably would have won. But at the same time, you know, I can say that it was bad for those reasons, but it was also bad because I got a stupid win. I played against this really good Captain Falcon player, and basically he was beating everybody really hard, and I just did dare fair, footstool, dead at 0, and I won the set. Like, how stupid is that? So I'm not really upset I drowned in pools, considering I had like loads of Johns about it, like legitimate Johns. I beat a lot of people the next day that had made it out of pools or made a bracket, and pretty much all of them that that's asked about my performance were surprised that I drowned in pools, so I guess that's a good thing. One thing I noticed is that when I played against unfamiliar characters like Charizard, for example, I pretty much always got bodied game 1, then game 2 I learned how to deal with it too slowly, and then game 3 onwards it was pretty even, which is probably why Japan has so many weird results. I know I'm going to get asked a lot who I got to play, and I can't really tell you, because everyone's name was written in the Japanese alphabet, right? Like, everyone was so good, it's not like I can say, oh, it's that, it's that Greninja that places, because all of them place. I did recognize Yusan though, and I lost to him 3-2 if that's any kind of indication of how I was playing post-pools. He was really, really good as well. I got the chance to play Mr. R into Buzz, and as expected they bodied me. I learned a lot playing against both of them. They're just really, really good, they play really fast, they punish small mistakes, and it made me play more patiently as a result, but it's hard to play patient and play fast, you know. One thing I noticed during all of my play was that everybody makes like the habitual mistakes I've been talking about, regardless of how good they are. Even Ramen and Dabuz were doing panic air dodges, nearly everybody rolled away after down air, nearly everybody DI's fair spike in, so on and so forth. I mean, the better the player, the less obvious these mistakes were, but it means that these things I've been suggesting, like, you cover tech roll away after down air, is generally true. People generally resort to like one option and then stick with it out of habit. Like, if they didn't tech roll out, they always tech rolled in, that kind of thing. So I'm pretty happy about this because it means that like the examples I've been giving about the subjective side of the game are still true. And that's all I really have to say about the tournament without getting into a huge 30-minute video. And this was kind of scripted, but it also kind of wasn't scripted. I went off on tangents a lot. So if you like or dislike this kind of video, please tell me, because I can make more in the future. I can not make more in the future if you guys tell me what you think of it. So yeah, please do leave a comment. And on that note, I thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. That number doesn't seem too big for a lot of people I know, but for me that's mind-blowing, and that's completely insane to me that many people want to watch my videos. So thank you so much, and I will continue to make more. Japan, I've learned a lot. I think one of the most important things was knowing like where I stand in the world, because it's kind of hard for me to tell in Ireland, obviously, especially when I haven't traveled in so long. It's not completely terrible. I know my result in the tournament like could have been better, but that's not the point I want to focus on. I can tell that I'm not awful at the game. Like, I'm able to play against people, and I'm able to see that I'm not doing terrible. I say I'm okay, which is way better than I thought it was, so I'm very happy. I'm kind of sad as well at the same time that I didn't do as well as I could, and I'm also, I feel kind of bad when I'm getting beaten by someone so hard, and I can't work out why. Like, what are they doing differently? But I think I will continue to get better, and as I get better, I can make better videos, and then I can tell everyone about it. But obviously, this is a more personal video from my personal experience and how I'm improving, and so on and so forth. So if you guys want to hear more about this kind of thing, please say. If you don't, that's fine. Just I wanted to not get this off my chest, but just talk about this experience because Japan was so fantastic to me. So right, thank you for all the support. Thank you again for 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.